next, author, speaker, and transformation specialist Dr. Karen Perkins teaches us how to understand and use our emotions to propel ourselves to a better life.
Hi there, thank you so much for joining us. We are live on the red carpet, and with me is the author of Harness Your Emotional Power, Dr. Karen Perkins, aka Dr. K. Yeah! Hey, Dr. K, how are you?
I'm phenomenal. How are you today?
I am doing very well. I'm excited. I read your book last night, and first of all, I want to find out why is it so important, and I'm talking to everyone out there, for us to actually harness our emotional power.
We all have emotions and we all utilize them, sometimes to our benefit, sometimes not to our benefit. If we harness our emotional power, we can benefit not only our lives, but we benefit the lives of everybody around us. Emotions are the key to everything we do in life. The emotions are what propel us forward, they're what hold us back. And so if we take the emotions, identify what they are, know them fully, feel them fully, and then decide, is this an emotion we want to have, or do we want to transform it into something that's more productive? Then we can move forward and really have a better life for ourselves. But in reality, isn't it all about helping everyone else and letting the whole world have a better world and a better life?
Here's an important update. Since this interview, the publishers have changed the book cover and title to Emotional Power. Be sure to visit the author's site for details and visit Amazon.com today to get your personal copy.
Now, I believe there's an acronym, I could be incorrect about this, about how we actually are tapping into our own emotions. Is that correct?
Yes, RAFPU, RAFPU. But you've recognized the emotion, and you do have to recognize it. Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it frustration? Is it joy? Is it envy? But you recognize the emotion. But then you have to acknowledge that you're having the emotion. We often have the emotion and then we refuse to acknowledge it. We hide it, we say, no, I'm not having it, and we stuff it and we just pretend. And the emotion keeps gearing up and saying, no, hey, notice me, notice me, notice me. And the more we don't acknowledge it, the worse it gets. So we have to recognize it, then acknowledge it. And then once we acknowledge it, feel it fully. If it's joy, feel the joy. Be overwhelmed with the excitement and the joy and the beauty. If it's sorrow, feel the sorrow. Have empathy for yourself. Let yourself feel it. Don't wallow in it, but let yourself feel the sorrow, because you cannot truly get past it until you have felt it. And then once you have recognized, acknowledged, and then felt it, now you can process the emotion and you can say, okay, this is the emotion I'm having. This is the emotion I had. What do I want to do with it? If it's a good emotion, I want to use it, which is the U for use it, or I want to defuse it. If it's a bad emotion, I want to defuse it and say, okay, I don't want to go there again. What can I do to not go there in the future? If it's good, joy, I want to feel joy again. Okay, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What's happening so that I'm feeling joy, so that I can duplicate it and use it over and over and over again?
Well, everybody has had a bad day, or what they call bad emotions, whether it's anger or hostility of some kind. And I would like to kind of get personal with you, because for those of you who don't know Dr. Perkins' background, she has phenomenal letters behind her name. She's got a lot of certifications, well-qualified individual. But she comes from a background that really she shouldn't be here today. And so I want to talk about this bad day, because even though you've had all of this training, you're having to put it into practice, and you say you have to practice every day with it. So let's talk about this bad day.
Well, before we go into the bad day, I want to say, had I not practiced, I wouldn't have made it through my bad day. I had 16 years on that day that I'm thinking of to practice. And we all have those days, where you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or as Phyllis Diller would say, naked in the garage. we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and we're just not in a good mood. And the logics are, be in a good mood, be in a good mood. I teach this stuff. I know to be in a good mood. I know you want to have a good day. But there was a day that I woke up and I was just ornery. I was irritable, I was ornery, and quite frankly, I was enjoying being ornery. And I was just starting a long week of going out on the road and being gone every day, started my speaking in my hometown, which normally would be fabulous. But today, it's not so fabulous because my flight is 5 hours after I end my seminar. Nobody's going to be at my house, which means I get to go sit at the airport or go home and take a cab to the airport. And I'm irritable, and I show up at the hotel, and none of my boxes are there, and nobody can find them, and the people that are supposed to help me are late. I mean, you name it. It went from bad to worse, and instead of seeing any good in it, I'm just getting, well, pissier and pissier. And I know that's not a good word to use, but I am. And I'm angry, and I'm irritable, and the day goes on, and I'm smiling and pretending I'm liking it, because I know I have to. But about 15 minutes before the seminar ended, the hotel comes running in with the phone and says, we have an emergency call for you. And I'm ashamed of where my thought went, but my thought was, somebody better be dead or dying or I'm going to kill them. And, most people would have thought, oh my goodness, what's wrong? But I was just so irritable that day that I couldn't go there. And I got the phone call, and the phone call was my youngest son was being rushed to the emergency room because he had attempted suicide. I was practiced, or I would not have been able to do it. I shut down. Years of practice jumped in and took over. And my attitude of gratitude that I had practiced for, at that point, 16 years, kicked in. And had it not kicked in, I couldn't have made it through the day, and I couldn't have helped him. But, the attitude of gratitude, every day I had to write down 10 things I was grateful for. Well, that day, what is there to be grateful for? Well, I'm grateful he wasn't successful. I'm grateful somebody found him in time to rush him to emergency. I'm grateful we lived in an area that had a hospital that specialized in helping people with this. I'm grateful I have 5 full hours before I have to catch my next flight. I'm grateful in knowing that I can be there with him, and that after those 5 hours, they're going to rush him to his room and not let me see him again anyway. I'm now grateful I can be on the road so that I have something to think about. Because of that attitude of gratitude, I was able to go to the hospital and have true empathy for him. And instead of going into, oh, what is this going to do to me? And oh, poor me. And oh, how could he do this to me? It was, oh my goodness, sweetheart, I love you. What can I do for you? And I could focus on him. And I didn't even realize I was doing that. But it was from the practice and the rehearsal and the getting used to it in little things. And it wasn't until 9 months later, he wrote an ode to Mother and put it on my blog page. And he said something to the effect of, Mom, it was your ability to have hope that I would be okay that gave me hope that I could make it. It was your ability to focus on me and what I needed that allowed me to not feel guilty for what I was doing to you, that allowed me to focus on getting better instead of everybody's judging me, everybody's angry, everybody's hurt. It was those things, and I didn't realize I was doing those things. And had I not been practicing harnessing my emotions for years, I don't know that I would have been able to utilize the skills that I had for the better. Now, he's a handsome, wonderful, delightful grown man today, thank goodness. And I love him dearly. And, there isn't a day that goes by he doesn't text or call me. Not a day. And every day, Mom, I love you. Every day, Mom, how's your day going? Every day. And he always comes back to, in my time when life was the darkest, instead of going back into yourself and how is this going to affect you and going into your guilt for what you may have done wrong or going into your disappointment, you were able to go ahead and step outside of yourself. And that is what true empathy is. True empathy is stepping outside of yourself, putting the other person in the spotlight, in the focus, and fully focusing on them, on their needs, on their frustrations, on their desires, on their wants, on what they have to have in order to get beyond where they are at this moment. And that's what I was able to do.
Okay, I get it. So, your son has been a big catalyst to the big work that you're doing now. So we are so happy that he's here. And I, as a mother, could never, ever imagine that happening. And thank God you had the tools. And thank God that you were able to allow him to go through what he needed to go through. And he's doing this big work with you, right? And I think recently you were telling me that through your work, you received a note from someone who said that you, because of you, saved her life.
Because of a seminar that she went to with some of the things that I had put together on emotions, one of her friends forced her to do this, and she searched me out to find me, to tell me that she had been in a dark place for a very long time, and that it was through my works that she was able to get beyond her dark place and find her hope. It was through being able to hear that other people went through those kinds of things. Several stories in my book about different things that I've gone through, my family's gone through, other people that I love dearly have gone through. It was through that she was able to find her own hope. And she said literally that I had saved her life. And I would love to take full credit for it, but really, she saved her life. The stories that people have allowed me to share saved her life. And knowing that we can have a part in making this a better world, nothing is more valuable than that. Nothing. This is a wonderful place, and we're all going to be here. Let's make it a place that we want to be, and make it a place that is better for everybody. And that's what it's about.
It's definitely what it's about. We're just going to quickly check our mascara right now because we're just running. And we're going to do a quick change to... This has been very, very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing this story.
Thank you for letting me cry.
Anytime. Okay, so we're going to go back to, we've all had bad days. Dr. K has had bad days. And so we're going to give you a tip from her book. And she has many tips, many strategies to do an instant calming sequence so that when you're feeling negative, you're feeling this tension, that you can immediately calm yourself, get collected. My husband often tells me, get centered before going anywhere, going into a meeting. So essentially, this is what we're saying. So I want you to pull into this big toolbox of yours the one tip that you can give our viewers right now on how to calm themselves.
Oh, there are so many fun ones. I think my favorite, however, is that when you're stressed, if you do a tighten and release. Tighten and release, because the muscles in your neck get tense. It tells your brain, hey, I'm stressed, and your brain says, I'm stressed, and then it makes your body stressed, and it goes on and on. Well, tighten and release, you can tighten your fingers, tighten your fingers, tighten your fingers, but my favorite, tighten and release, tighten your buttocks. Now you also lose some weight and get all toned, and you tighten and relax, and tighten and relax, and tighten and relax. Isn't that fun? So you can tighten and relax, and you'll be, yeah, look at that, look at you go, girl. So you tighten and relax, and you will actually feel better physically and emotionally.
Okay, so what if you're up on stage? Can people tell that you're tightening and releasing?
Oh, yeah. But if you're in the office sitting in your chair, usually they won't notice too much. But even on stage, I'll just pinch my fingers together and relax and pinch and relax.
All right, Dr. K, final words. I should say closing words of wisdom, not your final words.
Closing words of wisdom. No matter what, laugh for 5 minutes every single day. There are 5 fundamentals to laughter. The first fundamental is that it bonds teams. Team is any 2 people or more. You have a problem getting along with somebody, find something you can laugh at together. Second one is it conveys authority. I mean, you don't want to be around a person that's You like to be around somebody who can laugh and smile if something goes wrong and move on. Third one is it produces the endorphins in the brain that's similar to morphine. I mean, what's better than free drugs and not go to jail for it, and they're healthy ones. And the fourth fundamental is it improves productivity. You will be more productive when you laugh. And the final one really is the most important. It puts everything into perspective. And some of us have a hard time laughing for 5 minutes a day. That's okay. Smile for 20 minutes. Smiling for 20 is equivalent to laughing for 5. And even if it's a fake smile at first, eventually it will begin to become natural and normal, and it will change the whole psyche of your body, your mind, your system, so that life will be better.
I love that. 5 minutes.
Listen to comedians on your way to work instead of the news. Comedians will make you laugh. Your life will be better.
That's 5 minutes a day. This would be 5 minutes in a row, right?
Not in a row, but
Okay.
5 minutes total throughout the day.
Okay, good.
It'd be nice if it were in a row, but throughout the day.
All right. So make me laugh.
I could pinch your bottom, but that probably isn't appropriate. Let's see.
It worked. It totally worked.
You say something unexpected. Always works.
Dr. Karen, thank you so much for sharing a piece of you today. Some fantastic education as well. Now, for those of viewers who want to get more information about the book, how they get the book, also your workshops, your keynotes, your seminars, your products, where should they go?
Just www, of course, dr-perkins.com. So dr-perkins.com, dr-perkins.com.
I'm telling you, you have to actually just get to know Dr. Karen. She is so much fun. She's phenomenal. She has so much good things to teach us. So please look her up, check her out today. And did you know there's another Dr. Perkins?
Yes, the most wonderful, handsome, delightful Dr. Darwin Perkins, my significant other, whom I adore, and he's ignoring me right now, so we will laugh at him for ignoring me.
Did you hear any of that, Darwin?
No, I missed that.
Come on down.
Okay, what did you say? She talks about me all the time.
She was totally gloating about you, and you were sitting over there on your mini iPad, just and she's saying all these wonderful things, and then that's
That's it.
Yeah, so now I can't say anything nice because you're listening.
That's true.
Isn't that how it is?
Happens a lot, yes.
The two Dr. Perkins. Amazing.